Okay, let's talk about Martin Scorsese's 1976 film Taxi Driver. It's raw, it's unsettling, and it is an absolutely unforgettable descent into madness. But the big question is, why? Why, all these decades later, do we still call it a masterpiece? Well, that's what we're going to break down right now, the enduring power of this gritty classic. I mean, look at this. One of the greatest films ever made. And that's not just some exaggeration. That is the critical consensus. It's such a powerful statement, right? It makes you wonder, what exactly elevates a film to that legendary status? What's the secret sauce that makes it so powerful?
All right, so to really understand Taxi Driver, you kind of have to embrace its contradictions. On one hand, it's celebrated as this timeless masterpiece, but on the other, it's a deeply challenging and hard-hitting film. It is not an easy watch, and you know what? That's a huge part of its power.
So when you look at what the critics say, a pretty clear picture starts to form. You see these words pop up again and again. Timeless, gritty and compelling. They talk about this riveting force right at the center of it, and this strange, powerful alchemy and how it was all put together. The bottom line? It's considered an absolutely essential film for anyone who truly loves movies.
And that riveting force we just mentioned? Well, that would be its protagonist. To really understand this film is to take a journey directly into the fractured psyche of Travis Bickle. The entire movie is built around his perspective. And this brings us to a really key concept, the character study. Taxi Driver is like the textbook example of this. It's not just a film about what happens to Travis, it's about what it actually feels like to be him. The whole point is to immerse us, the audience, completely inside his head. So who is this guy we're spending the whole movie with? Let's break him down. First off, he's an alienated Vietnam vet driving a cab through the New York night. Kind of like a ghost, really. He is profoundly, deeply lonely. He's mentally unstable, and on top of all that, he has insomnia, which means he literally never escapes the city or his own thoughts. He's the very definition of a fractured soul.
And this is where the genius of the filmmaking comes in. The movie doesn't just spell everything out for you. There's no narrator telling us, hey, Travis is falling apart. Nope. Instead, it shows us. We feel his state of mind through the mood, the atmosphere, through what it feels like to be him. It's honestly a masterclass in cinematic storytelling. But Travis Bickle doesn't exist in a vacuum. The decay that's happening inside his mind, it's perfectly mirrored by what's happening outside, the city itself. You know, there's a reason we talk about Scorsese's direction being legendary. In his hands, the grimy underbelly of 1970s New York becomes a character in its own right. It's not just a backdrop. The city is vivid, dark, and corrosive, meaning it's actively eating away at things, just like it's eating away at Travis's psyche. And this really just lays it all out, the central metaphor. On one side, you have Travis's mind and his psychological decay, and on the other, you have the city's urban decay. You see his deep isolation? That's reflected in those dark, lonely, nocturnal streets. His mental instability? It runs parallel to the social breakdown happening all around him. The man and the city are literally falling apart together.
And then you have the music. You can't talk about the film's atmosphere without talking about Bernard Herrmann's score. It's just haunting. It's got this sleazy, jazzy feel that's both mesmerizing and really, really disturbing. It perfectly captures the whole unsettling vibe of the film.
Okay, so let's recap. We've got a fractured man in a corrosive city with this incredible score tying it all together. But is that it? Is this just one man's story, or is the film trying to tell us something bigger?
And this is where we get to the film's true genius. It uses Travis's story as a mirror, reflecting these huge societal themes that, honestly, feel just as urgent today as they did back in the 1970s. So what are we talking about here? Well, the film dives deep into societal disconnection and this feeling of urban isolation, being alone in a crowd of millions. It's a terrifying look at what a psychological descent really looks like, and it explores the dangerous allure of vigilante justice. What happens when someone feels like society has failed them? See, these aren't just about Travis, they're critiques of society as a whole. All right, let's bring it all home. After looking at the character, the city, and the themes, why does Taxi Driver still matter so much? What is its ultimate legacy? So the actual experience of watching this movie, it's as complex as the film itself. On one hand, you have what the critics celebrate, Scorsese's masterful direction, De Niro's absolutely iconic performance, that deep atmospheric power. But then there's the viewer's experience, and let's be real, it's intense. It's compelling for sure, but it is emotionally challenging. This is a film that gets under your skin and just stays with you.
And that's really why Taxi Driver endures. It's because its core idea, this portrayal of a fractured person lost in a disconnected society, it feels just as potent today. If anything, maybe even more so. It taps into this timeless, very human anxiety about loneliness and trying to find meaning when the world feels like it's falling apart.
Which leaves us with one final haunting question to think about. Is Taxi Driver a warning about a fractured society that creates men like Travis Bickle? Or is it a more intimate warning about the potential for a fracture that exists deep within all of us? Wrestling with that question is exactly what keeps us watching.